Texas has a new 6-week abortion ban. Hurricane Ida leaves destruction in its wake, and the subreddit No New Normal is banned. That and more on this week's headlines. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana and Mississippi this week as a Category 4 storm, with winds reaching up to 150 miles per hour. The hurricane caused a bridge to collapse in Mississippi, resulting in 2 deaths, and left over 1 million people without power. And it may take weeks for New Orleans to get electricity back. Ida also brought flash floods to New York and New Jersey, resulting in a number of fatalities, as well as multiple tornadoes. President Biden spoke on Hurricane Ida relief efforts, saying, "We're doing all we can to minimize the amount of time it's going to take to get power back up for everyone in the region. We're going to stand with you and the people of the Gulf as long as it takes for you to recover." That's nice to hear. Considering Biden's response to the fall of Afghanistan, I'm surprised he didn't say that the people of Louisiana are to blame because they didn't put up more of a fight against the storm. At least the storm wasn't equipped with U.S. military weapons we left behind. But if that somehow did happen, I'm sure Biden would just swear it was Trump's fault. From one natural disaster to another, all of the national forests in California will be closed until mid-September to better provide public and firefighter safety due to the ongoing California wildfire crisis. Officials said more than 6,800 wildfires have burned 1.7 million acres across all jurisdictions in California. This is sad news for people who won't get to celebrate Labor Day in a national forest. And even sadder news for the bears who may now go hungry without being able to swipe their picnic baskets. Oh, and every bear's home is on fire. Thanks, California. Speaking of fiery messes in California, a Los Angeles man who stockpiled illegal fireworks in his backyard ahead of this past 4th of July is facing a decade in federal prison. His potential sentence is so severe because the explosion from when these fireworks were detonated damaged dozens of homes, businesses, and vehicles and caused several injuries. Here's an image of the aftermath of the explosion. Oh wait, that's just an image of what downtown LA looks like on a normal day. Here's the actual image of the aftermath of the fireworks explosion. The biggest issue with this story is, while yes, this man was in possession of illegal fireworks, he didn't actually cause the explosion. The police did, when they improperly detonated them. Shouldn't the police be in more trouble? This is like if someone in possession of cocaine was sentenced to life in prison after the police scattered it all over a playground. Don't make snow angels in that, Timmy. More after the break. Welcome back. Goldman Sachs predicts around 750,000 households will face eviction following the Supreme Court's decision to block the federal eviction moratorium. Hey, did you know that when a cat headbutts you, it's a sign they feel safe and are looking for your attention? Oh, this kitty loves that little boy. What does that have to do with this story? Nothing. Consider this the return of the America Uncovered mental health break. I just wanted to mention something we all love that unites us, since it only gets more controversial from here. An anti-abortion law took effect in Texas. Under this law, abortion is prohibited once a fetal heartbeat can be detected, usually around 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks after the start of a woman's previous menstrual cycle, which also means it's before most women know they're pregnant. This abortion ban went into effect early Wednesday morning after the Supreme Court didn't act on an emergency appeal to put the law on hold. And I can't tell if it's fitting or ironic that this bill was forcibly delivered because the Supreme Court waited too long before terminating it. Although the Supreme Court did get to it late Wednesday night and upheld the abortion law in a 5-4 vote. There will still be future legal challenges to the Texas law, however, because the Supreme Court did not say the Texas law was constitutional. They just didn't block the law for now. And in fact, the Supreme Court spells out that their decision is not about the constitutionality of the law. The decision also doesn't limit more legal challenges to the Texas law, including in Texas state courts. So expect to see a lot of those, especially because this law is unique. It isn't enforced by government officials, but by private citizens anywhere in the country that can sue abortion providers and anyone involved in facilitating abortions. This includes anyone who drives a woman to a clinic to get an abortion, which is rough for women hoping to get an abortion, and even worse for Lyft drivers. Under the law, anyone who successfully sues another person would be entitled to at least $10,000. Or, to put it another way, snitches get riches. Speaking of pushing boundaries, Illinois Democrats approved new legislative boundaries for voting districts. They did this despite objections from Republicans and some community groups who claimed the process was rushed and maps were drawn behind closed doors to keep Democrats in power. I find the story shocking, mostly because since when have Republicans not been fans of gerrymandering? Republicans protesting gerrymandering is like Superman protesting the sun. That's what gives you your power. Of course, it's also strange when Democrats are mad when Republicans use gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is like someone farting in an elevator. It's only fun when you're the one doing it. And after the break, trouble in North Korea. Welcome back. A UN atomic watchdog reported that North Korea appears to have restarted a nuclear reactor used to produce fuel for nuclear weapons. This situation is as combustible as literally any part of California. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, "We continue to seek dialogue with North Korea so we can address this reported activity and the full range of issues related to denuclearization." However, North Korea hasn't responded to any of the Biden administration's attempts at communication. The U.S. is currently trying to exercise diplomacy with the Taliban and North Korea. I feel like we'd have more luck exercising diplomacy with the bear. At least we'd be able to tempt them with a picnic basket somewhere that isn't on fire. Speaking of failed diplomacy, the Florida Department of Education has withheld funds from 2 school districts that made masks mandatory in classrooms. In a statement, the department said, Commissioner of Education Richard Corcoran announced that the Florida Department of Education has withheld the monthly school board members' salaries in Alachua and Broward County, as directed by the State Board of Education. School boards in Broward and Alachua counties have mandated masks in schools in defiance of an executive order issued last month by Governor Ron DeSantis that barred local officials from imposing mask mandates. The two sides in the masks in schools debate see this as a crisis of safety and a crisis of personal liberty, while I see this as a crisis because the school system that's already so terrible it creates Florida Man is now getting even less funding. Forget COVID, I'm afraid of the new variants of Florida Man that this is going to create, especially the alligator variant. Hurricane Ida probably steered clear of Florida because even Category 4 storms don't want to mess with that level of crazy. Florida isn't the only state that has craziness going on in their classrooms. A California teacher was removed from the classroom after making a post on TikTok showing her encouraging students to pledge allegiance to a gay pride banner instead of a U.S. flag. The teacher removed the American flag from her classroom because she said it makes her feel uncomfortable. To be fair, the U.S. flag has made me uncomfortable on a number of occasions. The teacher gave her students the option of standing up or sitting down and reciting the pledge or not reciting the pledge. One student pointed out it was weird they were pledging allegiance to nothing, so she hung up a gay pride banner and said they could pledge allegiance to that. Which is strange since the only students that pledge allegiance to rainbows in school are leprechauns and unicorns. Come on, CW. This is the high school drama I want to see. More than 70 subreddits with millions of collective subscribers went private on Reddit in a coordinated effort to protest coronavirus disinformation they say runs rampant on the platform, specifically on the subreddit No New Normal. And on Wednesday, Reddit permanently banned No New Normal from their platform. No New Normal billed itself as skeptical of pandemic measures like masks and vaccines. Reddit has also quarantined 54 other subreddits, not allowing anyone to view or post on them until they decide whether or not they will be banned for misinformation as well. First of all, no one should be getting information off of Reddit. Every piece of advice on that site is lawyer up, delete Facebook, hit the gym. And I was just asking for a crock-pot recipe. Second of all, why are so many private citizens trying to enforce a ban on anyone associated with questioning the COVID narrative? Are they getting paid for it, like the abortion snitches in Texas? And lastly, did you know that mice are actually ticklish? Aw, he's getting tummy tickled. What does that have to do with the story? Nothing. Just figured you probably needed another America Uncovered mental health break. I know I did. So what do you think about the stories we covered this week? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making great episodes. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.